Hear the word, Dale.
We'll call a meeting to order. The Tax Committee, December 1, 2015. New fiscal year. 9 a.m. We'll consider the claims. First off, you'll need direction. Observations or decisions, comments, motions?
Motion. Pay the bills.
Motion made, second. Right. Any further discussion? Questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passed. Any public comment? Public comment? Seeing none, anything from the committee members would like to bring before the committee? Report. We lost Mindy. Lisa?
She just ran to check on something in her office. She'll be back.
Yeah.
Start somewhere.
Lisa?
I have 4 resolutions in the folder right in front of you because they need out signature. There's county owned parcels that the county acquired through the delinquent tax process, and the trustee sold them. 2 parcels sold at Spring Creek, and 2 parcels that were sold to the village of Arnarga. So I need a motion to approve those, sell those properties and get them back on our tax roll.
Says chairman, I'm assuming that's Kyle, right?
Yeah.
Any questions about these resolutions? Any thoughts? Any motion? We can do that all in one motion?
Yeah.
Move to proceed with it, get it back on it, so get it back to tax roll.
We'll consider that a motion. Is there a second? Right. Any further discussion? say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion passed. Go to the county board. Mindy?
We did our final distribution before the Thanksgiving holiday, and yesterday was the end of the fiscal year. That's all I have for now.
Any questions from Mindy? Thank you. Robert?
I don't think we should have done.
Well, I was just gonna.
I'm sorry.
I was just gonna also mention that filing period ended yesterday for the March 16th primary. There's going to be races on all four county board districts. There's going to be a couple of precinct committee races, which are going to be annual. Basically, the next step is setting a ballot. Absentee voting begins the first weekend next February for our March election. Proceed. No, I'm there.
Is that all? I apologize. Any questions for Lee? Thank you. Robert?
Yesterday ended the filing period for order review complaints. Anything received after yesterday needs to be postmarked by the 30th for us to accept. Complaints overall were down in number. And we had one so far that requested over $100,000 reduction. And it wasn't in the single seeker. And we're dealing with it. We're working on that. Some notice out to the taxing bodies for that. Required that they be notified. So we're proceeding with that. Got to finish up flood stuff, do more board review, and also the 42 hours in Northbrook Township. Then, legislatively wise, really not much going on right now. That Bill 1488, which passed the House, is kind of sitting in the Senate, not doing anything. So we don't really know what's, haven't really heard anything one way or the other, so we don't kind of sit back and keep an eye on it. The other thing that came out was, I mentioned in policy and procedure, the Lieutenant Governor has been assigned a task force to, one of Rauner's initiatives was to figure out a way to cut layers away from state government and save money in the process. And one of the big targets, obviously, on that committee, what that committee's come up with that we've seen is direct look at township government. One of the big areas is obviously township assessors. There was an initiative last year to have them do away with last year, and it didn't get out. It got out of committee, but never went anywhere in the House or the Senate. But this would be an initiative by the governor at this point. And our discussions, some of the obviously no language has been drafted yet, but in general discussion, there's been proposals and ideas thrown out. The big problem is the only way that doing away with layers of government is there's a big savings, cost savings that goes with it, and also if you shift duties, there is funding for the new entity to get the job done. And the big thing is duplication of tasks. And in some parts of the state, there isn't a big implication to have even in your rural, because a lot of, when there's a vacancy in smaller jurisdictions, the supervisor assessment is doing the work already. So it's not really away with the township assessor doesn't save anything. So, yeah, and then other jurisdictions, it's a big deal, obviously, in Collier counties and some of our larger jurisdictions, when township assessor has a six-figure salary, it's a bigger deal. So, haven't heard anything much about road commissioners and township supervisors or that. We were concentrating on the assessment side because that would affect us more than anything, but they said after the first year, when they think the budget probably would get kind of settled, that maybe that would come to the forefront, so we'll have to wait and see. So, for us, a large area county, not a lot of parcels, but a large area, just dump it on our office would be, could be like another unfunded mandate, because if they don't force the townships to levy for assessment work and shift it to the county, and then there's no funding for it. And who's to say that if they give them a minimum amount they're supposed to levy, or $100, or there's just like there's no language drafted yet. It's just we keep an eye on it close. And the other reason we keep an eye on it close is they also, one of the proposals, do away with township assessors, have a designated county assessor, and make that position elected. Make it real political. It's just political enough, and then make it elected, make it even worse, in my opinion. We'll see how this plays out over the next year and a half, but it's something to keep an eye on. Especially TOI has got their eyes on it really close, and they've been involved with discussions with the lieutenant governor already. I know that for a fact. So we'll see how it plays out. But that's about all that's going on in the assessment world. Never seen.
Any questions for Bob? I did see an article yesterday, or in last week sometime, where they're considering changes to road districts to a certain extent, also township road districts. But obviously I don't agree with their changes, but that doesn't mean much. Any questions for Bob? If not, thank you. Don? Yes, please. Do you have just normal reports first? Please, have a seat.
So for the normal report for November, we picked up like 11 dogs, 1 cat, had 4 dogs bite and 1 cat bite. Actually, the cat hit by a car, the person in the street tried to help the cat and then she bit him. But anyway, all of them came back rabies negative. None of them positive. And then we have 2 dogs bite for another dog. Again, we will have rabies tag, everything looks fine. So total, we received last month 32 cases, and I think you have the report. I just wanna, if you okay with the report, I wanna discuss, the new.
That's fine.
Yeah. So.
Any questions about that report? We have, let's start with the altering fee schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So just to update everybody, we have now a new computer, a new system, and hopefully we are transferring the old data to the new computer, and I hope this finished already. We're going to start have training, me and the other 2 people, like animal officer, Kathy, about how to run the system. But we have 2 suggestions. So our main concern is to match the registration number with the tag number. This is a very important issue. And then we have, I put 2 suggestions here. The first one is if we go with the rabies tag for 1 year, and I already ordered 2,000 of them because the time was running fast. We expect to receive them December 20th or 21st. And the fees will be the same, $15. It's going to be Purple Color Heart 2016, and we're going to have like the new phone number of the new office. And then the other one, which I didn't order yet because I need your permission, is the rabies tags for 3 years. So instead of like going every year to renew it individually, they can just pay one fee, which is $40 for 3 years. So this saves some money for the people. At the same time, it's going to be like more like easier for everybody. The system will be like we're going to distribute all the tags and registration matches with each other to all the veterinarian's office, and then the vet will give the vaccine, run a physical exam, give the vaccine, sign the paper, and the paper will be almost like this, but with some changes. I put the changes in the second page, and then it's going to be like tag number. So in the paper here, it's going to be like, registration number, let's say 6001, and the tag number has to be 6001. So the vet will sign, give one copy to the owner, give him the tag, charge the money, and then after 2 weeks to 1 month, we're going to talk about this with the veterinarian's office and with the treasurer's office as well. They collected the money and the copies from the registration, send it to our office here. Kathy will receive the copies of registration with the money, put the new data to the computer, the address, dog's name, everything, and then collect the money, count the money, everything match fine, everything is fine. She will move it to the treasurer office, and the treasurer will sign, like, if this is okay or not. So this is one system. The other system is we're gonna, and this is most of the counties around us actually are applying it. It's like registration tag for 1 year for altered dogs, like, castrated or spayed dogs, or unalterated dogs under 9 months of age. It's going to be the same price, $15. Rabies tag 1 year for unaltered dogs, like, intact, either like male or female, or above 9 months of age, it's going to be $35. It's kind of fine, $20. And we encourage people to fix their dog and cat. If you don't, like you're a breeder, things like that, so you have to pay the $35. Rabies tag 3 years of altered dog, going to be $25. Rabies tag for unaltered dog, going to be $60. Again, the tag number should match the registration number. So, and again, like, I did some research about, to rent this out, and some of the offices, they said we cannot put the number here, and others agree about it. It may take like from 4 to 7 days, business days, to finish the printing out, the registration forms. Our main concern is for the tags, because the tag will take time to order, to come back here.
Okay. Everybody understand that?
I'm open for any suggestion, because we need to upgrade our system. We need to match the registration with the tag. But it's, like I said, if suggestion A is okay with you guys,
Okay.
all what I need to do is just order another tag for the 3 years. If you don't like the 3 years idea, so we're gonna continue with 1 year and only.
It's always been one-year tags. Everybody they could get a 3-year shot, but they couldn't buy a 3-year tag. There were reasons for that here also, but let's just tie this down a little bit. Is there concern about a 3-year tag? Let's not talk about dollars first, but is there any, there is a 3-year vaccination.
And that's good for 3 years.
Right.
Vaccination.
My dog's going to want a 3-year tag.
Right. So can I say one thing? So I think it's more valid to have like the 3 years as well, because he doesn't, or the owner doesn't have to send the money for the second year or the third year. It's just one visit to the vet. He will have his 3 years vaccine and then pay the money, and that's it. We're done for 3 years. You don't have to send like reminder notes. You don't have to call him and say you don't pay registration for this year. It's done.
I know my dog's tag is almost illegible after 1 year.
So let me get this straight. The vaccine, is there all the vaccines are 3 years?
No. So we have one rabies vaccine for 1 year, and usually this is like, the first vaccine you give it to the dog. And then the second vaccine, you give the vaccine will last for 3 years. So,
If the person wants,
yeah.
they
No,
have the
yeah.
option between a 1 year and a 3
It's
year.
gonna-
We should have both. My opinion, we should have both tags.
Right. It's legally it's gonna be last for 3 years because this is a booster. You already give him like the initiate the immune system for 1 year, and then when you give the second one, even the owner said no, I need 1 year. It's gonna last for 3 years anyway. So this is my, I think, suggestion is like instead of the owner come second year, 3 years, and then we met him or things like that, he will pay one time and then we're done.
You have to send in for your tag. Let's say, like when I at the farm, the vet's over and you have to give the dog a shot.
Mhm.
If we send in paper to
The county.
the county.
Right. But you will take the dog to the, let's say I'm an owner, I'll take my dog to the vet, run physical exam, he's eligible for the vaccine, he gives us the vaccine, sign the paper, and then take one copy from this one, 2 copies actually. One will be for the veterinarian office, the other one will be sent to the county, and then the last one will be for the owner. So the owner will keep it as a proof. And then the nurse or the veterinary office will collect all the money and the copies of the forms, let's say either every 2 weeks or 1 month. Highly suggested 1 month. And then send it. We're going to give every veterinarian like an envelope paid, stamp already paid envelope to send it to here. You put everything inside. Very easy, simple thing. Put inside, drop it to the mail. We'll receive it here after a month. Cassie will receive everything with the data or the information, the computer new system. She can put some notes like, the dog is old, the owner recommended not to have vaccines again, stuff like that. And then give the money to the treasurer office. So we don't have to go through like, the come and pay the money and then go here and then send the registration. It's kind of like has a little bit. Besides, we have to change that because we have to have the registration form registration number match with the tag number. So this is the old one. This number, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, I think, the printout thing, but it doesn't match with any of the tag number. I know every new system has, it's kind of like scary to deal with it, but
This process of the tags being tied to the vaccination, which is what the statute says, and the practice of the veterinarian's office having the tags from Iroquois County on hand and giving them at the time of the registration. The tags have always been sent from here in the past. And in the statute, it talks about the veterinarian giving the tag at time of vaccination or immunization. So that's what we're trying to get to, and this is the practice that you find in other counties around here.
absolutely.
Doc has,
And there's actually, if you don't
you
mind.
have envelopes from
Right.
what other?
I don't have it right now.
No.
Yeah.
In your office, you have tags from other counties,
Yes, sir.
and it's your responsibility then to do that tag and to forward the monies to the county
Correct.
for the registration.
So if you allow me 1 minute, just to the downfall of the old system is, like one of the counties, I think in Colorado, I cannot remember, but I read an article a couple of months ago. They did the same, like old system, like the tag number different than the registration number. Anyway, one of the owners took his dog to the vet. The dog bit the veterinarian. And then he looked at the tag, it's 2015, whatever. I said, okay, so, the registration, everything is updated, but the dog didn't have rabies vaccine at the time because they pay ahead of time to get the tag for 2015, but he didn't have rabies vaccine. 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later on, the veterinarian shows signs of rabies. And then the public health, everybody went there, and it was a big deal, and started to match, and it started actually, in the article it said, like they start actually knock the doors of everybody to match, is this really have the rabies vaccine or not? Or just he paid for the tag? So it's very important as a liability issue as well for everybody, for as animal control, for you guys, to match the tag with the registration number. And our question here is, and our new system is designed to be accepting this new thing. The question is, shall we go only for 1 year or shall we go for the 3 years? Or shall we go for the suggestion B is like intact or spayed?
Would it be practical to do both?
What do you mean both? I'm sorry.
Pardon?
What do you mean both?
Do the 1 year and the 3 year.
Yeah, this is the
That's the
suggestion.
proposal, yeah.
Yeah, yes, sir. And I wish if you, I think everybody would be happy because you're going to pay $15 for 1 year and $40 for 3 years. It's cheaper than the other one, the first one.
And what's the reason we want to gravitate towards the vets keeping the tags?
Because, when he gives the registration copy with the registration number, he has to give the same tag with the same
Don't
number.
understand. But that could also be issued here.
So I think it's easier to keep it with the vet, and he's be responsible for that. Instead of like keep it here and then send it, or the owner has to drive back here to collect it from here. It will be easy. Everything is done in one session,
So you give each veterinary office a bank of tags.
Right. Let's say like everyone would get like 20 or 30, same thing, registration, and then...
And actually, that's the way it's stated in the statute.
Then we just have to make sure it's collected.
It's by law they have to send it to the county. This issue happened before in Kankakee, and it was a big deal, and then they issued this one, like they have to be matched, and the vet has to follow this type of rules. So what do you think, what's the negative part?
As long as they pay for, as long as they pay, they get the tag.
They have to pay.
If I understand this right, currently the way it's set up, my dog gets a 3-year vaccination. I buy a tag every year. So year 2 and 3, the registration number for my dog does not match that rabies vaccination. So if my dog would bite somebody in year 2 or 3, there's no way for anybody to track if she's had the vaccination or not.
You said the new system or the old system?
The old system.
The old system. Yeah, the old system, like I said, we don't have like 3 years tag here in the old system. We just have 1 year. So you vaccinate the dog, and every year it has to renew the tag, or the registration is $15.
So year 2 and 3, the tag number doesn't match the vaccination.
It doesn't in number 1 either.
Yeah.
At this
So
point.
it doesn't in number 1 either now? Oh, wow.
And there is,
Well, they know what you're... Yeah, you're accurate, yeah, they match it up that.
Okay.
did you get your answer? Okay. My only concern, is the same with, we we do need to make changes. I think this is a good change. I agree with this. My only concern is the workload in the office over here to keep things straight with everything that's happening and going to happen. But I think this is...
money. Or is that what you're referring to there? Because unless they have to pay for it to get the tag.
Yeah, they have to.
Okay.
Yeah, so the owner will be the veterinarian, yeah. And then the end of the month, the veterinarian will write a check under his hospital or clinic name.
You're talking about the owner, and you're talking about the owner or the vet?
No, the vet, he has, have like a concern about
The owner.
the owner.
Okay.
Yeah, the owner has to pay the time of vaccine.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, like I said, when they collect the money, they don't have to send like individual checks from the owner. They just want a check from the veterinarian because the owner will pay to the vet. And then the vet will collect the money at the end of the month and then send it to
Yeah,
the
that'd be,
Yeah.
what I would want to happen is somebody from this office having to call every 30 days over $15 versus, I mean, that's backwards. That's the waste of funds there. No money, no tag.
Supposed to work. Does the different check make any difference? As far as if you get a check from the vet for those tags as opposed to the dog owner?
I'm assuming it'd be nicer to get one check for $25.
Well,
You still gotta apply it to
you
each
still
account.
gotta apply to each account, and you still gotta figure out who's in that $25 or $375 or whatever it is. You still gotta go through and match it all up.
Is there a description that has to get typed in and everything? The dog
Yeah,
free?
yeah. Now, the issue, sorry, can I say something?
Yeah,
You're going to have two issues. Number one, in your first year, when you go from sending out whenever their license expires, right? Right now, they expire 500 a month or so. Every month, there's about 500 that go out. I know, a lot of dogs in this town. So now you got somebody who gave their rabies shot is due in February. Their license is due in October, right? They just paid their $15 here last month. Now they got to go get a rabies shot in February, and you're going to say, oh, you owe another $15, and they say, no, I don't. I just paid that. What are you going to do about those? And that's going to happen. After the first year, you're good.
Right.
Because you're going to be matched up. But that first year, you've got to come up with some transitional plan
Right.
for all those tags. And it's not a small thing, it's a big thing. And Mindy
Great
can
thing.
tell you, those dog owners get a little, yeah, they did. Dogs is a big deal. That's issue one. Issue two is, if you go to a multi-year tag, now think about, we count on that 90,000 every year, 90 grand a year, 90 grand a year, 90 grand a year, like clockwork in the general fund. 3-year tag. Let's say you get 400,000 year one, 30,000 year two, 30,000 year three. See what I'm saying? And it's not like there's a savings account in the general fund that you can roll that over or anything. But there are two things that are going to create issues in this.
We're gonna make it cyclical.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
there's no way to jump in at year 2 and year 3.
Right. I mean, it's okay, it is, and it makes sense, and it is the law. It's just, be aware there are going to be some changes to what we've seen in the past. And you've got a problem with year one.
I don't know that the 3-year registration is a matter of law.
No,
No.
it's not a law, but I get your point, it's a
Which-
very valid point, and I think we discussed it with Dale, but we didn't go in detail how we're going to solve the issue. But in any, I think in my opinion, in any new system, you're going to have an issue anyway. But this time, we have to come up with a plan, how we're going to deal with that at the beginning. But we have to go with a new system. I think all the counties, when they change from old to new, I think they have the same issue, like she said. We can make some research and talk to them and see like how did they deal with that. And then if somebody like due for like February, like you said, either like make a discount or waive the fee for the first year, things like that.
I see two options in that. One is the difference between the old registration date and the new registration date, which I don't think we should, but that's an option. The other option is to prorate that, the remainder of that off of the new fee. And I don't know how you do that when you're collecting the fee by the veterinarian's office.
If the 1 year is the same fee, $15.
I'm talking about prorating your
The difference.
Okay.
the difference.
How good the software, what will it do? Anything,
Well,
is there anything we can use it, above and beyond?
it's one of the most common softwares. It's light years ahead of what we have now. Figuring out this prorated amount or whatever, I don't think it's...
But it's going to trigger billing and the due and all that, correct?
Right, yes, it will. But remember, we're not, right now, what Donna does is that at the end of every month, she sends out the 500 letters for what's due the next month, right? So we're not talking about that. What we're talking about is, the only time you send a letter is if you haven't gotten somebody's renewal in from the vet. I think. Because they're going to pay the vet. They're not going to pay us.
Right now, I have to go to that, get the shot, I pay that for the vaccination, but then I have to come here and pay Mindy's office $50, and give them the receipt showing that they got the vaccination, and then the next 2 years, all I get is that pink letter, and then I bring in the $50.
But the renewal still comes out of the office, right? It can't come out like that.
Right now.
Now,
It does, but it's not going to.
The new system, the renewal comes out of that.
the tag and registration, the money would be paid.
Well, how are we going to rely on the vet to get that out? What if the vet says I'm not doing it?
And like I mentioned at the beginning, that this is by law, we have to do it, we have to do it, we have to send their money here and to follow the rules.
I get my annual thing from that on clockwork. They send me then our dog's due for this, this, and this, and then it comes every month, year, and I don't see why that would change. I could be wrong.
I just want to mention one, I think 6 months ago, I received a dog coming for rabies vaccine. And he had already the updated tag, 2015. It means like he has already rabies vaccine. And then when I asked the guy, he said, no, I just sent for the tag, they sent me the tag, and now I'm going to I'm coming here for rabies vaccine. So we have an issue with the old system, we have to admit it. And we have to...
I'm talking about my vet. He notifies me every year when I'm required to get my dog. And that should not change. It's been going on since I've owned the dog. I don't see him prior, so I assume that will continue. And if they don't send out those renewals, they're liable. I'm not sure. And I'm just thinking, like, I think it's more complicated to figure out how you're going to get the vet to separate the fee out of the check they get. They're going to get one check and they're going to have to figure out how to separate the fee out of the cost of service.
So the new system, we have an option to see who is vaccinated, who is not. So I spoke to Kathy, I said like, try to learn the old system as well, because with the transition years, we may have an issue with the new one. So we have to get to the old system to see what's going on and then go back to the new system. Like I said, I'm expecting it's going to be some issues at the beginning, but once we settle everything down, I think we're going to go the right track, right direction.
But as a pet owner, if you go do it all of that, that's, the only reason I don't complain is because I have to walk the truck all doing it now.
I have to make a special trip. I just didn't look at it that way. I mean, I've never taken a dog on the vet, but I've seen farm.
Yeah.
Will this one cycle straighten out?
Yes, sir, exactly.
Then why don't we're just gonna put up with it for one cycle?
Yeah, we don't want to eat that money though. That's a chunk of change we never be short. There could be, how much, what could be the potential miss? Would it be half a year, 2/3 a year, a third
Yeah,
a
if
year?
you assume,
Just assume it.
you're going to be, well, it's really hard, it depends on what your process is going to be. If you're going to say if you're within 6 months, just pay, and we'll give the other 6 months a grade, then you're off 50%, $45. Right. So it depends what you decide to do.
That would break the program right there.
Right.
Let's get the software straight. The software resides here.
It's on our server.
So is the software web, is it interactive with that thing?
There's a couple things. It will be, I have to work with Doc to get his a static IP address, but I'm working with AreaWide right now, that they would remote in.
So they'll interact all
Doc,
that
Shay, those are the two I have. They would be able to remote in just a query to see.
Oh, what about all the other vet offices though?
No,
No, just our
Oh,
system.
okay.
Right.
they are not allowed to go inside our files to check what things, because we have different cases and different, this is a governmental file thing. They have their own files there, and that's why they send like a reminder every year. for
No, I
reading.
agree. I see that. Everything goes in the envelope, be processed with, that's what it is.
And if you talk to the other counties, it is a problem. There are vets that are good, there are vets that are not good. And part of their clerk's job is to be a collector for these vets. Call them up. You haven't returned these tags, I show you have 200 tags or whatever. We haven't gotten any tags back from you. There are some that send it just like everything. Some that are good that will send it, and some that don't.
I agree with you, and that time, we send them an officer myself to go to the vet office and collect it myself, and just please next time send it by mail, because you have an envelope already with dates for paid envelope.
But to solve your lapse, wouldn't, I mean, it wouldn't be very popular, but have them, but say that, I think you're gonna have a harder time getting that, that's the prorate stuff. Because you get them to collect the whole fee, and then when it comes back here, then Kathy can prorate, and then make sure you get all your money.
And apply it to next year.
Or buy it next year, or send a refund out. The
Then my dog gets hit by a car.
Yeah, $500 a month.
I understand.
My dog gets hit by a car.
I'm with you there. I'm not,
And what we're
we're just trying to figure out how to make money on this, either.
No, I'm serious about that. If you prorate it though and they want a credit, then dog gets hit by a car.
Oh, I know.
Well, what is that?
It happens.
Not for the 15, that's my
Yes, they
name.
do.
They even call them the 15? Well, that's water under the bridge.
Yeah. No reason.
No refund. Yeah, no refund.
Wow. Well, I mean, dogs have
Yeah.
insurance.
Yeah.
Mid-year.
Do you take health
They want
insurance?
it.
Yeah, but we don't have any.
I know.
And some of you just don't.
You have no idea.
It's a nightmare.
What's the procedure when because I know the vet does send out reminder notices to their clients. There's going to be a lot of people that are ignoring that. So what happens then? What gets generated?
So, in the new system, we're supposed to have the same thing, like how many people have already vaccinated against rabies and how many not. And then we call the vet to see like if they already send a note or not. If not, we, the county, send a note, and this is, I think, the time, we give a file, and this is a good system, I think, because any officer can go there and give a file for not having that updated tag or updated vaccine. So, it's the law, it's the rule. But like I said, it's in the new system, and I've seen it physically in Kankakee County. she showed me the whole list of people didn't, yeah, and then they send them the note, and then next time it's just like a fine.
So everything's really good except for figuring out the transition into the,
Well, and I mean, you're gonna have to do some work with your vet. I mean, there's vets who say they're not doing it. We also have a vet in Indiana. You're gonna make an Indiana vet, a lot of people here take their dogs to kennel. You're gonna tell an Indiana vet he has to comply with an Illinois law? You might, I don't know that vet, I've never been over there, but I could foresee that being an issue. You're going to ask an Indiana vet to collect Illinois taxes and mail them over here.
Yeah, if the address is a dog, or the owner here in Illinois, he has to, because the dog will be here physically. I can vaccinate my dog in, let's say, another state, California, but I have to
Register here.
register here in the county.
Don't you think if that vet over in Indiana wants the business, they'll do it?
They have a lot of business, more than they can, I know her. She's very good.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
he-
the end game here is pretty simple. We have to tax the dogs, the amount, and collect as much of that money as we can collect. That's the goal.
Right.
So however we get there, minus the hiccups in this first year and a half.
Could we do like for liquor licenses here, we have like a quarter year and a half year, like so if you're trying to talk about prorating the licenses so they don't have to figure it out by the, to the day, maybe other.
The problem you run into, the problem would not be if we were collecting the money here. We could set the amount, but we're sending the tags out to an Indiana vet, and they don't know anything about when the registration was paid on this dog that comes in for the first time, for example. And they're going to give the vaccination, and they're going to collect the money, and what amount do they collect in order to satisfy our proration? There's no way that I can think of that works.
So the first time what's going to trigger the renewal? The actual end of their vaccine, the end of the registration period? These will all be, so all this data is going to be put in, or does it get migrated?
It's my
Migrate, yeah.
Migrated? So then it's all sitting there, it's in, and then it'll start, is it going to go all at once, or is it as the renewals?
This is an IT job, and actually we're waiting for them to teach us how to run the system. Yeah. Am I right?
Hang on a couple hours.
That's what we have been
Yeah.
doing.
I'm just trying to visualize that
We have a
process.
we have an option, it would seem, to raise the fee, maybe raise the fee for 1 year to make up for the loss of and not prorate.
So you mean like we go for the just
It hurts some and helps others.
So I mean like so you want to go to suggestion too, like intact or spayed or cat?
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Okay.
The first time we vaccinated our dog, we vaccinated our dog. So our doctor's registration is in October. Then I knew they didn't go to the start, so when I took them at the end of August, for 3 years, it wasn't.
I don't think people will like that, Dale.
It was competing.
No,
And I'd rather
but we can't afford to take a $40,000 hit.
No, I know, right. No, for sure.
But I'm trying to think if there's another way.
If you don't want it to expire, all of a sudden, you're
How long is it from the season?
If it's a blue dog, I can think think,
Yeah, I think that was a long time.
because my husband said, well, why didn't we just go in December?
How's that compare to our neighbors?
So if you want to raise like $20 for 1 year,
It's just right, 500 refund checks is pretty expensive.
You don't want to do that.
how about, can you allow me like a couple of days to make, I talked to somebody about this like transition period, and some of them like gave me like a good answer, some of them they said we cannot remember because we changed the system like 10 years ago.
Why does there have to be a transition period? She has to pay this.
Because we have like old registration, old tag, and then we're gonna go for the new.
So, let's say, I have a dog that's due in April
For what?
for registration.
Registration?
Yeah.
No, for rabies. So because registration has to match the date of the rabies vaccine. This is going to be different than the old system.
Okay.
Yeah. So the time you get the rabies vaccine, you're going to have the registration, you have the tag. Everything is done. Like I said, so we avoid the problem of like I have a dog with a 2015 tag, and honestly, he didn't have a rabies vaccine for 2 years.
Why does registration differ from the vaccination cycle? It should be the same.
That's my point, because I always had to have my registration date, or my vaccination date before I could get the registration.
Well, here's the example I use, okay? So, my dog's 11 years old, but when we got her, we had her vaccinated and registered at the same time, and that is in October. So her registration is due every October. But her rabies vaccine, we after the first year, she got 1 year, and after that, we've done 3 years rabies vaccine. Well, I know that October's busy for us, football games, blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to take my dog at the end of August before school started, because my kids didn't help me. So I took it at the end of August and got the 3-year rabies vaccine a couple months early.
Right.
So that's how we got off.
Now it's dictated by people's personal lives and schedules, and you can't do that. I'm sorry, government doesn't work that way.
One of our dogs was, we adopted from rescue. Dog was already vaccinated, of course. You can't adopt out a dog that's not vaccinated. Vaccinated 4 or 5 months before we adopted. So then we adopted.
Figure out a way to line them up.
So our vaccination is off 4 or 5 months because she was adopted 5 months later after.
That's simple. Because all that's her sacrifice, so her registration then goes back off. She loses a month. That's how that's going to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, which she's fine with that, because what she chose to do.
Which under
So
the new
adoption
system,
thing would be the same way.
under the
They'll go
new
back.
system, that's the way it will work.
So the tag always matches the...
It will always, because it's all given at the same time.
Or people give their dog away, they come in because it's supposed to be registered to the owner. The new owner, already vaccinated 6 months ago. I took ownership today. There's lots of differences.
I mean, it's not that finite of a process, so I think we're going to have to just say, we're going to try to catch 85% of this, correctly. Because you're not going to get it all. What if a guy calls and says, yeah, that dog died, then you won't.
So that happens all the time, and then
Yeah,
later
a
it comes back.
lot of dogs that come back to life. And
Yeah.
oh, Jesus Christmas, that's crazy.
It's the truth.
But I mean, so let's just be realistic. Yeah, our goal should be 100%. It's going to be X. And then the rest is, how much of the 90,000 do we get? We have to get that. We have to get that amount. So I'm not opposed to raising the fine to anticipate what the loss is. Because we don't want to upset the balance. That'd be worse.
But all our counties, surrounding counties have a transition period.
Right.
We gotta figure out what.
They did it 10 years ago, though, when the law was enacted.
Still have a transition period. We gotta remember.
Is
What do you think, Doc?
Actually, in Kankakee, if we talk about the 1 year, the Kankakee, we have $10 if your dog is neutered. So they have like this kind of like, breakout. 3 years for like, spay or neuter, like, $60. I'm sorry, that's $35. In tax, $60 for 3 years. So they look like a good fine. And I mentioned this like a year ago, I think, when we discussed it. It's like we can initiate like programs here, like, the U-Buy. I'm responsible for a shelter in Bloomington. And we always bring the U-Buy to the shelter to spay and neuter, like, for very, like, cheap prices. So we can initiate this program here, so people doesn't have to be like very scared, like, oh my God, I have every time or I have to pay such money for spay, and then I have to pay such money for the registration, things like that. So we can make like programs low cost, like spay or neuter. So we encourage everybody to do the same thing. And believe me, the numbers of those bites will lower down because of the, if you castrate or spay the dog, they usually, their behavior, like, when sitting down a little bit. And the population will be lower than what we have here now. So, I think the big question is like, the transition period. I think in my opinion, this is a perfect system. We have a very good software. Everybody around us are using this software. But the only thing is the transition period.
How much time do we have? When does it have to be implemented?
We have, like I said, the software, the computer ready. We are ready. The only thing is like I order 2,000 tags and registration for 1 year only, without any specification, either in tag or spay. And the fee will be $15, unless you guys want to raise it to $20.
I don't see any reason why it couldn't be implemented at any time during the year.
So, like I said, I
So
can
it doesn't have to be by today.
So
Or
that means he could pull these other counties out of the transition. I was also trying to think if there's something you do with tag. If the tag had a clock of 12 on it, and it's a 2016 tag, and from now on they can punch 1 through 12, how month it is. So I could look at my dog and say, oh yeah, I'm trying to think of a way to get the timing.
Like I said, I can make some connection with people around here, or anybody has like a chance to talk to somebody else, and then we can talk about like maybe a couple of days from now or tomorrow. Because like I said, to order the tag, it will take like a month.
No, if we don't do it today, it happens next month, a month from now. It doesn't happen before that.
Are the tags, I don't own an animal, so I really don't know a whole lot about this, but does the tag, like a license plate,
Yes, sir.
it goes from January to December 31st, January 1?
No,
To
it's all-
December 31st?
No.
And if you buy one in July, it goes to December 31st, then you got to buy another one
No,
right away?
it goes to July.
Right.
So you
When
can
you
have
buy
one in
it,
July, you can
12
have one in
Yeah.
August,
Yeah.
September.
Yes,
Is it like that through the whole state?
that I don't know.
Why don't we just make it for a year?
Yeah,
Because it has to be tied to the
Vaccine.
inoculation.
It would be once you're rolling with that particular animal.
Right.
Year to year to year on them.
But not a calendar year.
But it can't be on a calendar month, because then you'd have everybody getting the vaccine on the same day.
Yeah, that's the problem, which is not going to happen.
You could register like that, but you couldn't do the vaccine part, and we have to have the vaccine tied to the number. So it's kind of a twisted.
Give you some time to poll the neighboring counties and see how their transition went and what they did. Somebody, like you say, somebody's got to remember.
So that's why I was thinking about maybe for the transitional year or two, or until you get to the 3-year tags, that, to your point, how the cars work, maybe there's a clock around the outside and the guy can send. You can't fake the 2016, that's there forever, but you could punch 1 through 9, or 1 through 12, and see which month you're in.
That's nice.
But that would be all upon the, you'd have to push that all in the vets. That's the,
It just sounds so complicated that it doesn't need to be that complicated.
No,
well, it's not once it's run.
Yeah, once it's like everything is like the right direction, that's it, we're done.
It's
It'll be very, very easy.
But we have to figure out how to get there without taking them along.
Yeah, the only thing is like the transition period.
Well, maybe a fee raise, we'll have to do it for 1 year, as
Right,
long as, once it's all leveled out,
right.
then that fee is taken away.
That, right. When I talk to some county administrators, they said like, usually it will be a little bit of problem within the first 6 months to 1 year. It shouldn't be more than that. So hopefully it'll be like less actually than 6 months.
Oh, so it could be less than a year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Okay. So we
No matter
could,
what.
you have any idea how much to raise the fee? So we
Well,
don't lose money?
he's talking about the fees change, then we look at these other counties, how they're going to the incentive fees with the intact, neuters, et cetera. Those are pretty steep. What's the ratio of dogs, like a male dog, neutered to intact? Is it-
Intact to, in this county, honestly, I don't have like numbers.
You just have to guess.
Yeah, let's say like, 70 intact, and then, 60 intact, and 40 like maybe, yeah, it's a lot. We've seen a lot. As a vet,
What are they running around?
yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
I didn't.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I would fight that off if you get that transition right out of your way.
Yeah, because that won't go over well. I know it won't. I'm good at pieces.
Think we don't have to do cats.
That's another issue. About cats at that. Bottom line, yeah, I mean, but it's actually, so cats can transmit or be contagious for rabies like dogs, exactly the same thing. And unfortunately, we don't deal with cats in this county. And you cannot imagine like how many calls we receive about cats, and we cannot handle it. Like I received a couple of weeks ago a phone call from Champaign County, animal administrator, and he said like, we have a cat from you guys, from your county, and the cat is sick, and I'm going to send the cat back to you. I said, no, don't send it back to us because we don't deal with it. But again, I think let's focus about the doctors and looking with the cats later about it.
A lot of stray cats.
Okay, so what's our process at this
Give him
point?
some time to check into the neighboring counties.
Okay, what are we checking in on and who's gonna do it?
See how they implement.
We don't wanna just, we don't wanna just kick the can down the road, that's all. So if we're not gonna decide today, then let's decide what information we need to make a decision.
You need to know how the ones that have already done it protected themselves in the transition period from losing money.
Do we know that that was changed in other counties? Do we know that other counties didn't always do it the new way?
Yeah, most of the counties around us are doing the new system.
How long have they done
How
it?
long, yeah. I don't know about that.
Champaign,
Yeah, Champaign, yeah, Kansas
Vermilion,
City, Vermilion,
Livingston,
yeah, Indiana, all of them are doing this.
they've all switched to the...
Right. But some of them, when you ask them,
Vermilion County beat it to the new system.
But that's
yeah,
my
and when you
question.
ask them, some of them, they said, wow, it happened a long time ago and we don't remember about the transition. But we remember that it happened like for 6 months or so.
Need to do that to get some guidelines.
Yeah, so, like I said, I'm gonna call them back again and try to, frame support and whatever, to see how we can deal with that.
That's what we want?
I think that's our only option, road.
And then, so we,
Okay, let's throw in the ultra dump.
so, So we're gonna, like, you know, anybody reach to a conclusion about how we
No.
deal with that transition?
No.
Okay. No, what I'm saying is like within the next couple of days, if we
No.
reach, no? Okay.
If it doesn't happen today, it doesn't happen till next month.
I see what you, okay.
That's the matter of government.
Okay.
Are we agreed on that?
There's no advantage to doing anything at the fiscal year.
I guess,
That would be that.
I don't know why, could you set a goal for January 1st, 2016? We're going with this new system, it's all being revamped, a whole new procedure. The fees are what they are, no matter how recently you paid in 2015 was 2015. January 1st, 2016, it's a whole new ball game. You pay your 15, whatever, I'm not sure it's 15, no. You pay your $15.
At the time of...
Yeah.
What are we gonna...
Yeah, we know you may have paid $15 2 months ago, but that was for 2015.
So we'd have to take a guess if we're gonna hit that, if we're gonna be on which side of the line. You know, the gainers versus the losers.
Right.
Did
Which is
somebody
going to be
have-
half of
Right.
your people. The
Did
first
somebody-
6 months is probably going to be your people who are like, well, I think I just paid that. And I'm like, after June,
Do we have, just an off-the-cuff idea where most of the bulk of ours lie in the year?
it averages 500 a month.
It's really...
Yeah, it really is.
Wow.
We're going to schedule their appointment.
How many owners have 3 or 4 dogs?
You can almost figure it out mathematically, to put X amount of dollars on that thing going forward. It would, if it's that consistent, we could raise it to what we anticipated. But then we have to decide if that's for this year or that.
But the thing we don't know, yes, it's 500 a month. Okay, wonderful. But how many of them are offset by 6 months, and how many by 1 month, and how many by 11 months?
That's what we have to mathematically figure out.
That's why it's January 1st, you just,
It is what it is.
There'll be some winners and losers. Get it that way.
But we just don't want to be the loser. I mean, that
Right.
line item in my head is going to come out of training.
Right, if you just say effective January 1st, this is what it is, you won't be able to.
County won't be. Maybe.
Can that be announced in the paper? News media?
Know what I'm saying?
Can we announce this
Yeah.
in the news media?
Oh, yeah, we have, this is the plan, like, you know, we use press conference, we put like some ads, and then we talk to the vet, and
You know, like the Times and the KT
All
Journal,
we'll do is spend the head rate.
Champaign News Gazette,
If
whatnot.
anybody's gonna complain about $5 an animal, they don't want an animal very bad, badly.
Exactly. Put it in there.
Is that what you think it'll be, about $5?
All five additional dollars, 4 or 20 instead of 15
For 6 months?
for the year, for the whole year.
That's
That's $5 additional per animal, at 500 a month.
Most people aren't gonna like it, but most people can afford it.
I'd say 100% of people, if they can afford to have a dog, they can afford an additional $5 a month or a year.
Quit smoking.
Quit anything for one day. That's,
Cat's up on that 1 pack of cigarettes.
they don't want an animal very badly.
Do we need a motion?
Depends on what it
Are we ready for a motion
is. To do what?
to proceed and move on?
Proceed with what? With a plan, or to put it off on?
No, with a plan. But this,
Okay, what's
with,
the plan?
is it that, we talk about 1 year only registration, no 3 year tag, just 1 year tag. All right?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Do we go the first year with only a 1-year option,
Mhm.
and then after that it's a 3-year?
We can do that, yeah.
I'm not against
Now,
that
remember
because I
that if
think,
you're matching it to the vaccine, though,
Yeah.
it's different than in year 2 and 3, then you just decide something different.
They'll catch everybody up then, right?
Sorry.
Almost to your point before, though, if there's 500 a month,
Right.
if the software could pull out X amount of people that are eligible for 3 years, because otherwise you could get this huge swing, and then our money will be off. It won't be the same every year. But I do know that 3-year thing, I always did that. Who wants to register your dog every year?
but you have been registering every year. You've not been
Not in a long time.
given rabies, or you're supposed to be.
Before, Lisa had a good suggestion too, whatever goes to the media should be a positive spin, because we're not trying to jam anybody, we're trying to figure out how to make a budget balance and not cost.
Well, I don't think we want to go to the media with, boy, we're going to stick it to you.
No, that's right.
We all get enough of that.
But, because my vaccination was just in August, so I did a 3-year at that. So I only did a 1-year registration. So I'm not getting another shot for 3 more years. So how do we catch, those are the people that are gonna miss between now and the vaccination renewal.
You run a report out of the system.
System.
The one thing
And then
is,
you-
the last system didn't even run a report.
Right.
So this one, you can run report by date ranges, like license expired, tag expired.
So you could bill me $50 for the next 2 years, and then I can get a 3-year tag in 2 years.
Maybe.
Maybe they go to that. They go to that.
Yeah.
But then the system can generate people that need to be billed that don't aren't required to have vaccinations in that transition period.
Then where does that fee get paid? At the county office?
Why would you pay for that? You don't have to go to that.
But they can send it in.
We can go in.
But anything during that transition period is on a 3-year tag, the number's not going to coincide.
What do you mean? I'm sorry, say it again.
If we don't establish a 3-year tag,
Right.
when you get your tag next year, it's not going to be the same number.
Yep. Has to be a different number.
It's going to take a full 3 years to get all that matched. Question is, what do you charge people in the meantime? How do you collect it? And if you can run reports, tell you who you need to bill, then you can do it for 2 years. And then after that, and then, I mean,
So basically, if we go only for 1 year there, we are almost following the same old system, but the tag will be matching the registration number. This is the positive thing. If we have like another 1 year,
well, I'm not going to get another tag to match my registration for another 2 years. 2.5 years, actually.
Right, yeah.
My dog just got that done in August.
Mhm.
Still going to take you the whole 3-year cycle to get everybody
Right.
caught up.
Yeah,
But going forward, you can start, you have to start somewhere, right?
yeah.
And then every month you start cleaning up, getting everybody on. And in the meantime, to keep your fees coming in, the system, when we're relying on experts over here in the county, if the system can run a report says I owe $15 this year, but no vaccination, and then I'll just, they bill me, I pay it, and move on. And then, I don't see how any other way you're gonna, I'm not gonna go have my dog vaccinated. That ain't happening. Or I pay for it. No.
Still might be better to check and see how it's been done other places. And then how it was implemented and all, yeah.
I'm working on it. Yeah, work after it's done.
You got a transition period, what?
I have my son. Yeah.
So really, the only people you're affecting with the change is the people who have to have their rabies vaccination within the next 6 months to a year, right? So how many of them 6,000 dogs are on a 3-year cycle?
Have one that is and one that isn't.
And there's no way.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a system that can track that. You have to start somewhere.
Well, it's just going to be a little, the work, it's going to be the work in the soft, the data entry, it's just going to be cumbersome at first. I mean, once this thing's moving, it's manageable.
But there will be tags here in the office to come in, like for Bob and I, for our 2 and our 3 years. For our dogs come in, we go to the office and purchase a vaccine tag. For your 2 and 3. Right, she's got her tag right now for the first one, or a 3-year shot. So that's not going to match.
No.
Right.
Like Dale said, it didn't match to start with. Anyway.
Right.
Okay. CYA, raise the fee $5. Decide a year from now or 2 years from now whether to take it off or not. $5 per year. And implement the 3-year tag. This is just a suggestion now. Implement the 3-year tag along with a 1-year tag. Are we willing to do that? Because that way, if we have to go into the second year with the additional $5 fee, that will make up for what we lose this year, if we lose it.
I think you have to
It's a gamble.
put the 3-year into play right away, because that'll reduce your input costs down the road if you're only messing with those files every 2 years.
Because if you push the 3-year cycle down the road, then it'll take that much longer to get everybody registration and tag the same.
Raise it to $5 and don't set a timetable on that $5.
I'd rather not set a timetable.
Right, don't. I said do not do it.
And we also know that fees that go up don't normally come down. But
That worries me.
that would make a 3-year tag $60.
Protect us.
Or no, it would make a 3-year tag 50 or 55.
I think 50 is reasonable.
Who's going to remember in 3 years to take that fee off?
None of us will probably be here in 3 years.
Somebody's got to be an animal.
I can see where a 3-year tag that are going to be completely equal. So somebody's always going to be adopting a dog.
Everybody has the option to stay on a 1-year cycle if they want to.
You mean tag the vaccine? Because the
I think
vaccine,
what we need to do is stay with a 1-year tag, and then if the system generates a letter, a reminder letter, I don't see where there's any difference, but I think you need to go with,
But if you change the policy, say, January 1st to 16, stating any dog purchase, any registration prior to that, starting January 1, when you register, when you do your vac, you're just going to have to eat the money as a dog owner. You want those to match up.
you really want to.
I mean, for the health department, it would, on the weekend, obviously we call animal control, but we can't call in here and find out whether that dog has been vaccinated. So if somebody gets sick on Saturday and they go to the ER and the ER doctor wants to start rabies vaccines on Saturday night, we can't tell them if that dog has been vaccinated or not. So you're going to have people. One of the things that having a registration tag that matches the vaccine would prevent people from getting unnecessary rabies vaccine. Because you're going to have the ER doctor that says, I'm not going to take a liability risk. I'm going to say, go get it. And if you don't on Monday, we find out you don't need it, you still get the rest of your vaccine. It would save people from that. And it's huge expense, and some insurance companies won't cover it.
Because
we want that eventually.
say like Minnie just adopted a dog, and it was 4 months ago, and we started a new policy to get those cleaned up, because you just take, when her 3 years is up, and then you register your dog as of January 1st this year, it won't match, but when you're
They're going to have to pay for a full
3 years,
yes.
at the time of her next vaccination, so she's going to eat a couple months at the back end, not right away, but at the back end.
And then they can decide if it's advantageous to do a 3-year or a 1-year on their own.
Right. And that's
That's how it's going to happen to go.
I have a question, and I could be thinking about this totally wrong. But is registration always before the vaccination date?
No.
It should be active.
No, I mean in the current system.
No, not if you're like me and you take your dog early because it's convenient for you and you get the vaccination a month or 2 earlier than when you originally registered them to vaccinate.
And the way to follow that is to have the vaccination, and in the vaccination paper to get your registration, and have it within a week. If you do it as a vet, it's done.
Like in this scenario, and not so much mine, because mine's on the same cycle, but hers isn't. Now, she'll get, the system will generate a report the month of, say, July, when she adopted a dog. She's going to be required to pay $15 for that year. And then the next July, maybe another 15. And then the next July, the dog will be due for vaccination.
Right.
And then that's when it lines up. Because I have to, only because you're not going to get people to go back to the vet if they have their dogs until their cycle is up.
The other thing is to backdate the registration.
And she'll
Backdate the registration to when the dog was vaccinated.
backdate it, or you can say you're going to put it in. down the road, you'll need some time, by that time, people,
It'd be too hard to backdate the registration to meet the vaccination.
As long as they don't move the line. That's the problem, that wouldn't that affect the moment?
but you're not, you're still not gonna be able to match registration number to back to tag number.
I think about the dogs, maybe. You know, backdate, like you said, it was vaccinated 4 months ahead. Well, that puts her 4 months off. Let's backdate the registration to when he was vaccinated. Start with January 1/16.
Even if that's 11 months?
Well, then maybe they go to the 3 year, and then they save a lot. Skim that one.
Surely they wouldn't have an 11 months, or they probably won't vaccinate again, would they, before they adopt them out? I don't know how that works at all.
Can't do the can't raise it anymore because they only get a 1 year shot on the gate, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a mess.
Transition period. That's all I can get right off the gate first.
What do you want to do?
What would Oprah do? What would Oprah do?
As long as we have confidence that this, you know, we've got to work this software as hard as we can, as far as everything it can do. Generate reports, you know. Like I said, the front end of this is going to be heavy.
Right.
With data entry, and correction, dead dogs.
And we have a lot of complaining, and a lot of angry people. Yeah, but we have.
Is this software, is that installed?
Yeah.
Does anybody know how to work it? Yes?
We were supposed to have like a training on,
It's, the training is not scheduled yet. We're still verifying the data that's come over from the old system, okay? So I have one more, I have to give him by today, the list of things, because we didn't have good feel, it was, the old system very complicated, so he's trying to figure out what fields from the old system go where in the new. So we just, I'm verifying data. Once we have it verified today, I told him I would have it by today. We'll pick a day next week to have training. There will be one training session. I'm currently working with AreaWise to get VPN connection set up for you guys from your vet's office, but I need your static IP address from your internet service provider. Once I get that, we can work with that. But then there will be one training, one remote training from Bill. At that point, we will do one last backup from the old, pull all the data out, load it in, do the training, go live. We're targeting late next week.
So you can import or export that information from the old one?
Well, it's not perfect by any means, I'm going to tell you. It's going to be, we're doing the best we can. But that old system, there's, the way the tables were set up, and there was absolutely no link between the dog and the person. It never linked a person with the dog, so that there's no field in common.
Right.
So it's a disaster. quite
They
frankly.
have to write a computer program for each one of those fields to try to get it
To the right
to
place.
jump over.
So we're working on that now. And like I said, that should be done by, he wants to, he's saying setting up training by late next week with a go live would be reasonable. So it's whatever you guys want for, well, it's going to be his schedule. So I talked to Kyle yesterday, do I need to ask everybody what schedule works for them? I mean, this guy, this is a big software company. He's got a lot more customers than us. We got to try to get to a date next week. And if I can get to a date between his schedule and AreaWise, we're just going to set the day late next week, get ready for it, because I'll let you know what it is when we know it. But we're not at a point now, I gotta finish up with Donna in Mindy's office, the final validation of data, because there are still things that have to be corrected. So we're working on that for the next week.
And you need the IP of my ID, right?
Static IP, from your internet service provider. Okay? It's gotta get static IP.
Somebody knows what that means.
I know,
If you tell your internet service provider that, they'll know.
Oh, okay, that's why I went with that.
Okay?
And when our guy knows that, so to speak, they just punch a little hole, so it's a secure line from there to there for hacking.
Yeah, that's another question.
Okay. Where are we?
We're working on your suggestion.
Okay. Go with the 1 year and the 3 year at
$20.
$20 and 50. Anybody that does the 3 will increase our income this year. Revenue, I should say, not income. Hopefully to balance the perceived losses.
Did I understand right, when you thought it started January 1st or 16, there would be no money lost, that's your opinion?
And just keep it at the 15 for the 1 year, but now they're discussing a choice, a 1 year or 3 year tag. Am I right? So we lost that.
I can see where the 3-year tag is going to make problems with our income flow.
Being flat.
But your suggestion was a 1 year tag for $20 or a 3 year tag for 50.
50.
Right, so it would hopefully even out. And start that January 1st. Your choice is 20 or 50.
That's increasing the fee, then, isn't it?
And your dates will have to match from.
But that's still going to take,
If you
yeah.
offer a 3-year cycle, you're going to have fluctuation in your revenue, period.
Right.
Nothing you can do to avoid that.
The only way to avoid it is keep on
1 year.
cycle.
And you'll have consistent revenue flow. Just go with the 1 year tag.
In that 1 year tag, it's like a 3rd year would match their number in our name. That's important for people to be able to look at the tag on a weekend.
But if you require a 1 year tag, you're going to have to require them people get vaccinations every year. If you want to keep the numbers the same. Right. And you can work out the revenue, you just have to understand where your revenue, how your revenue flows, because anybody that, in our educational program, we always had a big fluctuation because everybody had to get their education certified a year before the election to submit to be on the ballot, assessor-wise. So our education was always, the 3rd year was always way up, and then the next 3 years it was kind of went down a level. You just got to deal with it. But you can't make up. You won't know how many people are going to go for a 3-year tag. You may have everybody jump on a 3-year tag and you not have any revenue for year 2 and 3.
Can we monitor it by the month or by the quarter?
I have to start with it. You do it.
The other.
But if you go to a one-year tag only, you're gonna have to require people to get vaccination, a one-year rabies shot every year. If you wanna keep your numbers, the registration and tag number the same. I don't see how you can require that, but.
We do get a little bit of a pickup on what happens. We do. If they get paid for a 3-year tag, and talking to the first year.
Excellent, yeah.
But I mean, so, so that, my point being, maybe it'll offset some of this other, or because we never figured that part in, or at least I didn't in my head. That's a little bit of
And most people, if they drive like this, they're gonna go buy a house. So then you got the registration paid on the bill.
No, wait. Well, that's the other, I didn't want to complicate matters, but there is one other thing, if the software had the ability for a pay-to-play, like the first registration is X, and then it's normal fee, I don't know.
When you go through a 3-year tag, there's no way you're gonna not have fluctuating revenue. No way around it. And that's what you have to, if you can manage the budget with that, then, like you need that, good luck.
Yep, exactly.
Because that first registration might not be as painful because you're doing all this stuff of this blue dog anyway. It's all a big pile of, that's happening.
And I think if you're going to require a 1-year cycle,
Okay.
you have a big pushback.
We're kind of close on that, but I'd rather not have a motion until we address the altered, unaltered
I can get the 3-year back.
situation. And what that means is there has to be a $10 differential between the unaltered and the altered. That's the statute.
Oh, that is a statute.
Yes.
Well, then we ought to just go with these other counties' feet. If I have to change it, I just change it one time versus a year, or whatever.
And what about the other comments?
Well, he proposed what the other counties are doing. If we have to make a change, we should only make it one time. I didn't know that was the statute.
Yeah. So, it's like, can I suggest how the rabies tag for 3 years to be $40 instead of $50? I think people will.
No.
50 is that, okay. I mean,
It would be, $40 would be less than what our fee is now.
okay. All right.
I guess that's what, I mean, you guys have to say too.
Because in other counties, they make it $40 for 3 years. So we don't want
But that's for altered.
for the ultra dog.
Well, that would work if
No.
we charge 60 for the other one.
Yeah, 60 for intact.
And if 70% of our dogs are intact, or 70% of the male population.
And that's why they thought to think about it.
Cost to be seen. Yeah, that's starting to generate a little number there. What about the female population?
It's the same thing, yeah. We see about those dogs that little infection goes bad.
Can we just examine the graphics? Blatantly all. Yeah, if we have to change the fees, yeah, we ought to just go to this if it's a statute, do it one time and do this.
I agree. Yeah.
Neutered, not neutered.
Okay, perfect.
We need a motion for that.
What dollars?
Yeah, so can we go together with it? So the rabies tag 1 year, alpha dog, which is usually stay, or dogs unaltered under 9 months of age. $15, you want to make it 20, right?
I don't know, go through.
No, let's go through it because
15, okay. And then rabies tag 1 year, unaltered dog, and have 9 or above 9 months of age, $35. And then rabies tag 3 years, altered dog, for $25. And then rabies tag 3 years, unaltered dog for $60. This is how I feel.
so there's $6,000. Well, this is mail or female, right?
Can you read the altered amount again, both 1 year and 3 year?
35 and 60. Or an altered 15 and 25.
So 1 year, altered, 1 year.
3 years, 25?
The rabies 3 years, altered dog, like 25 altered. Altered.
That's only 30% of the population, people.
We're going to increase $10, you know.
So I was gonna try to see where that's at.
So I put these numbers based on the counties around us, applying the system, like an average is what they are doing. But again, it's up to you to change anything you want.
Just doing the year to year, it's 132,000. It's on 6,000 registered dogs.
Did you use 70%?
70 and 30.
You used 70%.
And then our current fee is what? This one, $15. That's 6,000. 90 grand. So his fee schedule is actually a little more aggressive than what we have today. And then we should do the 3 year and divide by, and try to balance that out and just try that.
No, I don't have a calculator.
So it'd be 1,800
You got a pencil.
times 35 divided by 3 is 21,000. So everybody went on the 3-year plan, would be 105,000 is your worst case. If everybody went on the year to year at 132, so you have to assume it's somewhere, you know, in between. So this fee schedule is actually better than ours, more aggressive.
And this is, like I said, the average from the other counties around us. And the reason why I don't want somebody to say, okay, let me have my vaccine in Kankakee, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. Because we have to compete or match the price.
You need, those amounts you're happy with, you think?
The 25 for 3 year altered seems low to me.
So what's your suggestion? We can make it 30 then.
30?
Okay.
But I get 1 free.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we have,
I mean, if you keep in mind, the fees are still 32% higher than
Now,
what we're doing today.
and if you're gonna do, are you gonna take the differential between altered and unaltered and put it in a different fund?
I think we need to, according to the statute.
That's what the statute says. That is that's a lot. That's a lot of work to figure that out, but yeah.
That's what the statute says. And then you use that for, is it
It
going to
goes
be ear
into-
tags, earmarked different?
It goes into pet population control and can be used for neuters.
Yeah.
Neutering.
actually, in the animal control act,
That's
we use the money for.
right.
That's, so it's 70%. It's 70% are
Intact.
intact. That takes 70% of 6,000 or 4,200 times $10 is 42,000 out of the general fund. Of those figures that you used.
And then does that have to be spent as well? Yeah, you said that earlier. It's for the pilot.
It's for economically disadvantaged people who have their dogs.
All right, let's start with it.
That's what it's for. That's what it's for. You gotta put it in a different fund, and then you use it for that.
That spread shouldn't be as, well, that spread shouldn't be as high. I mean, we really can't leave that on the table.
That's right. You can't calculate that in as covering your shortfall. The
Priority.
only thing you're gonna get in the general fund are these amounts for all the dogs, that's it. Right.
Priority one is we have to manage the program.
Right.
That's priority one.
And the intact dogs, less $10.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Right.
Repeat that.
Yes, that's true. The intact dogs, what you get in the general fund is the fee, well, less $10. $10, but the differential between altered and unaltered goes to the separate fund, right? Is that what it says? The difference you charge between
Let me
altered
read
and unaltered goes to this other fund?
Let me read
Yeah, you can read it.
The board shall impose an individual dog's registration fee with a minimum differential of $10 for intact dogs. $10 of the differential shall be placed either in a county animal control, population control fund, or in the state pet population control fund. If the money is placed in the county animal population control fund, it shall be used to 1. Spay, neuter, or sterilize adopted dogs, or 2. Spay or neuter dogs or cats owned by low-income county residents who are eligible for the food stamp program.
Holy moly. Because you start telling people that they gotta pay for other people's dogs, they're gonna be hot.
Oh, I think that's.
We'll let them get out at the legislators.
So it's 10, I need to understand that. 10, we only have to give up $10 of whatever the spread is, the rest is ours. But we have to give up 10 anyway.
Right. run our own program here, or send it to the state.
Well, then for sure,
We'll run our own program.
yeah. So we're picking up 25 on
What?
The low income person or family, assess that fund.
Comes to the county.
So on our fee schedule, then that leaves a little bit of a problem because the spread on the 3-year, you divide that back by 3 years, you don't even make the $10 would be contributing to that. So that either, that's not good either.
Would you interpret that as meaning $10 of the on the 3-year tag? Is it $10 or the 25, or is it $10 a year? I would interpret it as,
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe it is.
pardon?
I don't know, can you read it? What does it say?
It doesn't say. It says with a minimum differential of $10, and $10 of the differential shall be placed either in.
It's got to be 10 of the total, Dale, otherwise we'd own $5 a year. It's got to be.
That is for a yearly thing. It doesn't talk about a 3-year one at all.
It doesn't talk about a yearly thing either. It only talks about a registration. It's our job to set up the fee schedule. The county, it's not specified in the statute. I would interpret that as being 10%
Of the total fee. I agree. Otherwise, it doesn't even work.
well, but the 25 is for an altered dog. So the $10 doesn't apply. But it would apply in the 60 and
No,
35.
It's going to imply that between the 15 and 25, on 1 year, you take 10 off there, and you've got 10 left. It's a split.
Why'd you take 10 off?
Because they want
They
10
want
of the-
$10 out of the altered.
No, $10 on the intact, right? Should be, yeah.
Right, $10 out of the.
So we're
intact.
charging 20 extra for the intact, the 10 goes into that pot, and the 10 goes into our column. Should be. So yeah, that Doc's fee schedule would work, pending that the 3-year, we only get hit for one $10 charge on it. Am I saying that right? Registration fee on the 3-year. So we give away the lease at a 3-year registration.
And we're talking about, if that's the case, I mean, we could just offer 3-year registrations. And then this would indicate to me that it's $10 out of that 3-year registration. okay. It's okay that an altered dog is 15 and an unaltered dog is 35 for a 1-year registration. Seems like quite a differential.
Yeah, but we give up $10 of that fee, so if giving up $10, it's only $105,000. We're not too far off our current position if everybody did a 1 year. So not everybody's going to do a 1 year, so we're going to be right there at 90 with his fee schedule.
And it's because $10 of that $35 would go into that special tax.
I realize that, but we're charging $15 for an altered dog and $20 more for an unaltered dog.
Of which we only get 10, theoretically.
But to the owner, it's $20 more.
But like he said, they're trying to make an incentive. to
Right.
Oh, yep.
That's true.
Yeah.
But are you going to complain about it?
All my dogs were.
It's going to be hard at the beginning, and a lot of questioning, but I think we get used to it.
So the numbers are pretty close.
Okay.
They're pretty good.
Okay.
What do you have for the 3 years?
I didn't do the 3 year. Mike, when you take it out,
3-year, 25 and 60.
so it's
You said like 30.
30 and 60?
Yeah.
35. 35 and 50 is actually our take.
Wait a minute.
I don't know.
Yeah, because the intact dog, we're going to have to give up 10, so it's 1,800 times 35, 63K.
But the fee to the individual is
30 and 60.
25, or 30 and 60.
Right.
It's only 30.
30, yeah. The bill we're going to charge them, yeah.
For the 3-year. Yeah.
Altered dog.
Doctor, what does it cost to have a dog neutered?
It depends, like, gauging the size of the dog. Like, let's say, like, small dog, like 10 pound dog, it can be between $60 to $80. If it's kind of like 200-pound dog, it can be like 180 to 100.
Altered dogs is 30.
But, that's why we need to initiate, like, use this big program, like, when they move by, you can come over here and do for like $20, $30, something like that. That's 88,000.
Unaltered, still pretty close.
If everybody did 3 year, it'd be 88,000. That's not inclusive of taking the 10 off.
Mhm.
So we should come out over the 9. Yeah, Mindy had to run here with the 10 off. So with the 10 off, everything was 132 was the It's 3 year, it comes out to 88,000 per year, if everybody did 3 year, which that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So the other one was 15,
So the selling to people would be unaltered animals. This is getting it fee.
Yeah.
So then if everybody did the 1 year, it's 111,000. So we're still over 90 tomorrow. It just says 15, 30, and 25.
15, 35, 36.
1535.
15, 35, 30, 60.
suggestion be?
And then, I just want to be sure that we agree about 15, 35, 30, 60, right? Yes. Okay.
So you want to read them off, so she's got it. 15 is for
Rabies tag 1 year, alpha dog, for dogs unaltered but under 9 months of age, $15. And then rabies tag 1 year, unaltered dog, and about 9 months of age, $35. Rabies tag 3 years, altered dog, $30. Rabies tag 3 years, unaltered dog, $60.
Troy, do you want that listed in your motion or just stating that you accept his?
accept the proposed fees.
Okay.
We probably should put them in the motion.
Yeah, go ahead and include all of that. Okay, I'll do that.
And
To match statute, to follow state
follow
statute.
state statute, exactly. And then do we keep this separate from any implementation of the program?
I would say so.
Yeah. So that's all I'll say.
Do you want to get back to date of that schedule?
No, because we still have to implement a program. Unless you want to put by the first of the year, January 1, we can speculate getting it done next month.
So we're gonna apply.
I think that's great. If we don't meet it, then what's the difference?
January 1st. Is there anything in statute on the date?
Okay, so my job here, I have to do it very quick, is to change the order. I made it already, remember when we had a meeting, and order 2,000 tags for 1 year, have to make it like, for, change like, alter and alter, 1 year, 3 years. It takes like almost 25 days or 30 days to get the tags here. So I have to order it now, and hopefully we get it before the beginning of next year.
What's the difference in the tag?
It has to be written, like, 1 year,
Okay.
3 years, alter, things like that. Yeah. And then we have to change the tags anyway because we have a new phone number here in the new office. So at the back of the tag, somebody find the dog, need any information, he needs just to get the right phone number here. Yeah. All right.
Everybody understand the motion?
And if
This
any-
fee schedule with January 1.
To
Anybody want it?
comply with the statute,
Yeah, to comply with the statute. Anybody want to, any more clarification? All in favor?
Also, second.
Aye. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Unanimous.
One last thing there, if anybody has any questions, suggestions, please call me in my office. All right? And I'll take them.
We're not going to talk about anymore, right? And what was the second page for?
This is the new registration form, because we have, the old registration doesn't have like a registration number to match with the tag, but this one is gonna have like, the tag number, registration number. It has to match together.
And everything else is the same?
Almost the same, but instead of Illinois Agricultural Department, whatever, we don't need that, we just put the Wake County Animal Control, and we put there the right address of the animal control here, 1001 East Grant Street.
Right.
And then we put almost, the rest, almost the same thing.
Okay.
I just put here, name of dog/cat, just in case if maybe in the future we have cats.
No word, yeah.
Let's strike the cat.
First, delete the cat, okay.
It's not gonna happen,
It's
but
not gonna happen, okay. No cat. Okay. That's it.
the only reason I ask is, according to the statute, again, if we're following the statute, the county board has to okay your form.
I see, okay.
So, somebody want to make a motion to okay the form?
The motion.
But I have a
Okay, as
question.
far excluding cats.
What is the new fax number here in this office would be?
We don't have a fax yet.
We don't have a fax number, okay, so cross this one as well, right? Because I
Yeah.
put the new phone number, then underneath fax number, so we cross this one, okay. I
What
think
is the new phone number, Don?
The new phone number is 815-432-7221.
Okay, are we done? You made a motion. I need a second.
Second.
To okay the form. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Unanimous? Okay. We're done with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Levy finalization. The numbers have not changed from last month. I made out the form. All I have to do is find it. Just have that. These are the same numbers that are on that were on last month's form. Anybody else want one? I have a few more if you want. We'll have them for Tuesday, hopefully the resolution or ordinance or whatever it is. And do we have any discussion on that? If not, would we like to make a motion to present that levy to the county board on Tuesday?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to present the 2015 final levy to the county board on Tuesday, the 10th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Passed unanimously. Any old business? Any new business? An adjournment?
I make a motion.
Motion made and seconded by Troy. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Motion carried.